Hello to all the channel's subscribers. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch the latest summaries, and our movie today tells the story of a very beautiful English teacher who needs love and affection in her life. She enters a romantic relationship with one of her students, and they develop a relationship together. The movie begins with the character Linda, a 40-year-old single teacher who has never been married and has no personal relationships other than her books and dedication to her work. She enjoys the simplicity of her life, which is much less dramatic than the stories she reads in books, though she feels a bit bored despite always being lonely and sensitive since childhood. Linda starts looking for love by meeting different men, hoping to set a good example for her students by settling with a kind man. Unfortunately, none of them appeal to her as she seeks someone who possesses all the qualities she desires. Linda is a very emotional and romantic character, which is why she remains alone. One day, while withdrawing her salary from an ATM, one of her students, Jason, approaches her. However, she doesn't recognize him and mistakes him for a thief, using pepper spray on his eyes. Realizing her mistake, she apologizes and gives him water to ease the pain, insisting on taking him to the hospital. Jason refuses, explaining that his father works as a doctor there. Linda then offers to drive him home, and during the ride, they talk about his writing career, as he is the best writer in her class. Jason confides that he dreams of becoming a famous writer, but he couldn't pursue his dream because his father insisted he study law. Jason rejected law studies because they caused him too much stress, leading him to give up writing and pursue other interests. Jason tells Linda that he wrote a play but has been unable to publish it. Moved by his words, Linda decides to help him and asks him to give her the play to read and review. The next day, Jason delivers the play by slipping it under her classroom door. Linda sees him, catches him, and introduces him to the class as the best writer in her 2006 English class. The class is very happy for Jason, and he praises Linda, calling her the best English teacher, which makes her happy. At the gym, Linda meets Jason's father, introduces herself, and asks for his opinion on Jason's talent for playwriting. However, Jason's father shows no interest. Linda tries to convince him that she read the play and found it impressive, but he remains uninterested, wanting Jason to study law. This leads Linda to think he is a selfish father who doesn't support his son. Linda returns home to finish reading the play, becoming so emotionally moved that she starts to feel a deep connection. She calls Jason and tells him that the play is excellent, even though there is little chance of it being performed, encouraging him. Jason is thrilled by her encouragement and thanks her. Linda decides to present the script to her friend Carl for his opinion. Carl is impressed, and they consider how to produce it. They approach the school principal to request funding for the play, but the principal deems the play inappropriate for high school due to its violent and tragic ending, asking them to modify it. Carl agrees to remove the ending, but once they leave the office, he tells Linda he only said that to gain approval and has no intention of changing anything. Linda arranges to meet Jason at a restaurant to sign a contract allowing the school to produce the play, but Jason hesitates. Linda convinces him that this is the only way to regain his confidence and that he shouldn't let his father win. Jason agrees, signs the papers, and casting for the play begins. During rehearsals, Jason's father shows up and asks to speak privately with his son. Linda observes the conversation nervously. After a heated exchange between Jason and his father, Jason experiences stomach pain. Linda takes him to her classroom and gives him medication. Suddenly, Jason kisses her, and they engage in a romantic encounter. Linda feels deep regret for what happened, knowing it could jeopardize her career and reputation at the school, despite having longed for such affection. The next day, she decides to confront Jason, and they agree to maintain their friendship to ensure the success of the play. Later, Jason's father, Tom, apologizes to Linda in the gym for his behavior toward his son at school. Linda calls Jason to inform him of her conversation with his father, but Jason is with Hilly, another of Linda's students, which makes Linda feel deeply hurt. The next day, Linda invests almost all her money into the play and speaks with Haley, warning her about her relationship with Jason and advising her to maintain boundaries, stressing that self-respect is key to success for any artist. The following day, Linda sees Jason and Haley hugging, which saddens her deeply. She threatens Haley, saying it will negatively impact her grades. Jason later apologizes to Linda, but despite her jealousy and disappointment at his relationship with another student, a greater shock awaits. Another student overheard their conversation, recorded it, and posted it on Facebook. The next day, students look at Linda with disdain due to the post. Haley becomes furious and feels hurt by Linda's actions. Linda then goes to the principal's office and files a complaint against Haley for spreading rumors about her and Jason, accusing her of hugging him. The principal confronts Jason about his poor treatment of Haley, and Linda tries to calm everyone down, inviting them to return to the office for a quiet discussion. Suddenly, Will, a student, appears covered in red paint while rehearsing the play's final scene, revealing that Carl hadn't removed the violent ending as requested. The biggest shock comes when Haley shows a video of Linda and Jason's relationship at school. The principal decides to fire Linda for her involvement with a student and for lying to the administration. As Linda leaves, Jason confronts her for not being truthful about the play's ending. Overcome with guilt, Linda sprays him with pepper spray once again. Later, while driving and thinking, she accidentally touches her eyes with her pepper-sprayed hands, crashes into a pole, and loses consciousness, ending up in the hospital. At the hospital, Jason's father is present, and Linda confesses to him about her relationship with his son, though it happened only once, leaving him disappointed. After being discharged, Linda avoids Jason's father out of shame. Later, she learns that she has been fired from the school, a severe punishment since her job meant everything to her. She blames Jason's father for failing to be a good parent, as everything Jason wrote in his play was inspired by his personal experiences. Upon returning home, Linda listens to a voicemail from Carl, asking for her help with the play, as he's struggling with a nervous breakdown and severe exhaustion. A few days later, the school principal visits Linda, requesting her assistance because Carl is in the hospital and unable to attend rehearsals. The school faces a problem as they've sold $18,000 worth of tickets. The principal asks Linda to persuade Jason to change the ending in exchange for reinstating her as an English teacher. The next day, Linda goes to the school theater and takes over Carl's duties but struggles with the students, particularly Haley, who is still angry with her. The actors find Linda boring and demand Jason's presence. That night, Linda visits Jason's home to discuss a new ending for the play, but he refuses. She tries to convince him to choose an ending that doesn't involve suicide, but he stands firm and asks her to leave. As an English teacher, Linda thinks of writing a new ending herself. She spends the entire night coming up with a suitable conclusion and eventually writes a new ending. When Carl returns from the hospital before the performance, he thanks Linda for her efforts in his absence. During the performance, Jason arrives and scolds Linda for changing the ending, but she apologizes and insists that he should not give up on his dream. The actors deliver a stellar performance, and Linda's revised ending impresses the audience. Jason is surprised by his father's attendance and enjoyment of the play, and the principal is very pleased. After the show, Jason is welcomed on stage as the playwright, and his father thanks Linda for everything she did to make the play a success. A few days later, Tom and Linda grow closer and fall in love, and in the end, Linda finds the person she has been searching for, who possesses all the qualities she ever wanted. And so, the movie ends. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to watch the latest summaries.